See, it's quite nice. I've actually been up there just once. But what's causing the move?
Well,
What
I'm
city
Texas
else is
born
here?
and raised.
Okay, right on. Where are you
Yeah.
from originally?
Fort Worth area.
Okay, right on.
Yeah. Yeah. So my parents are still, all the family's still in Texas. So it's time to come home.
Yeah, my dad's oil and gas, so we've actually lived in Houston at three different points in time in my life. So yeah, I'm putting up roots here now. So
Houston would not be my cup of tea, but more power to you.
yeah, well, you're heading up to Dallas Fort Worth. That's right. Yeah.
No, I'm going to Central Texas. So my market's going to be clean. I work with
Okay.
military, so I'm going to be heading more towards Fort Hood area.
Right on, right on. I actually did a stint there after college. I was working for Wells Fargo at that point in time. So,
Good.
but yeah, I wish you the best with that for sure. What's
Thank
going
you.
on, Sam? How you doing?
Oh, pretty good. How are you?
Doing well. So, are you the prospect, or are you another EXP agent as well?
No, I'm the prospect. I appreciate you taking the time to meet with me.
Yeah, absolutely. What questions you got?
I mean, I know Jennifer's on eXp, and then there's a different branch for eXp commercial, and I'm drawn to commercial.
Okay.
I have a background in business. I've got commercial properties. I've got commercial projects that I'm doing, and so um, my deal is, jumping into something new. I want education, and so Jennifer said eXp is big on education.
Mhm.
I noticed they had a class for masters in commercial real estate, and it said it offered to only worldwide, eXp worldwide and eXp commercial. And so I'm just kind of seeing what side I should join, or if there's even the ability to join commercial directly, um, you know, to pursue commercial and different stuff like that. So
And Bill, he
Well,
just
yeah,
got licensed Wednesday. So he is all brand
okay,
new. So I
very
told
cool.
him, get with your niche right now. If you want commercial, go all in. Farm and ranch, go, which way. So he's definitely
Right on.
leaning commercial route. So I wanted to make sure he was set up with somebody that could answer the commercial questions
Sure,
for him.
sure, sure. And that makes total sense. Hey, Brian, how you doing?
Hey, Bill, thanks for getting us on together. I appreciate it.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Well, yeah. So to answer your question, Sam, yes, you can go directly commercial. Um, I believe you still have the option to do commercial with certain certifications on the realty side. Uh, but the amount of tools that you'll get on the commercial side will make sense for you to come to the commercial side. So build out is probably one of the biggest pieces of software that you're going to get that is geared to the commercial real estate industry and saves you a ton of time. Like, for instance, I put together an OM on a property and it took me probably 30-40 seconds after I didn't put it all the listing info. Uh, and it just made this beautiful, like multi-page, 15-page flyer that I could send out to people. And it added so much value. There's just so much technology that we have on the commercial side that's geared more to our industry. So that software too, whenever you're inputting a listing, there's about 30 different sites that we can syndicate to. So on the realty side, there's an MLS system where you can kind of plug your sales and your comps and everything into that system where it's easily trackable and verifiable. And commercial, it's not quite the case. It's a little bit more information is more restrictive. And one of the big visions of eXp Commercial is that we're actually putting together our own MLS system with all of the data that we have. So, like literally, we're about to flip everything on its head. If you get the concept right from the beginning, um, but surely the technology package alone is really kind of why I signed up to come over here. Um, so the amount of services that you're going to get, for instance, there's a subscription to build out. That's like 700-800 bucks a month if you were to buy that on a standalone basis. You have a subscription to Reonomy, to Crexy, to Brevitas, a handful of other platforms, and just the amount of money that you could save by having that is it's unreal. that's probably 20 to 30 grand a year that you end up paying a total of about 3 grand a year for. So your monthly dues would be, they say they're quoted on the form as 250, but I pay 266.50 a month. And that's basically what you call pay for the technology. And then you have per file fees whenever you close for the broker to review the transaction and as well to cover any E&O insurance that you need specific to that transaction, just like you would on the realty side.
Right.
Their fees are a little bit larger just because generally the transactions that we do on the commercial side are a little bit larger, is kind of how that works. But yeah, I mean, really, at the end of the day, we're set up very similarly. If you were to join one of the big brokerage houses, i.e., like Marcus and Millichap, SVN, um, Davison Young, CBRE, you're going to be put at a split of like between 50 and 60% of whatever commission you bring in, whereas we're paying out at 80%. So that's a 20, 30%, increase in money that goes into your pocket. Obviously, I like that. Hopefully you do too. Most people, that's a big motivator. Yeah. But yeah, really at the end of the day, there is a lot of not only do we have the technology, but there's also a lot of training support available to you. So, for instance, there is the advisor program, apprentice advisor program when you come under, which I recommend you do if you do come to the commercial side. And that's like a 2, 3 week intensive course where you take most of your morning for about 2 weeks, and you go through that. It's a real just high level refresher on everything. And then they'll generally assign you to a mentor that you have to complete a certain number of transactions before you graduate on to become, a full-fledged on your own kind of broker. But yeah, I mean, really, that's high level overview of kind of the whole enchilada. Um, what did I leave out? What questions do you have?
The only concern I would have is my location. So I'm
Yeah,
an hour and a half from Austin, but I mean, I'm still in a small town.
sure.
And so, um, that's my only holdback is like, yeah, I don't mind driving to Austin and doing all that. Is there ability to, if you're on the commercial side, is there ability to do like farm and ranch or land sales as well? Like or is it just like only
Yeah, so
commercial?
you can, yeah, yeah. Farm and ranch is almost even its own specialty of its own entirely.
Right.
It kind of falls under the commercial umbrella to some degree, but I really think that should be its own division.
Yeah.
But yeah, you do have the ability to do so. Land would generally fall under the commercial umbrella or residential. Just it's still a property that you could trade, so that part wouldn't affect you. Uh, so now we do have some training courses. February 6th, we're having our Houston event, which I'm helping organize down here, but there will be another one in Austin as well. I'll have to double check the dates for you, but I would suggest you come to that because this could be a little informational deal and we'll have lunch. You probably meet a lot of the brokers in your office too. But that might be something you want to check out.
Okay.
But
Cool.
yeah, as far as being remote, that's not that big of a deal. A lot of the stuff we do is, obviously through Zoom, and you can log into eXp World, access a lot of the training. Yeah, that does require a different kind of mindset. You got to be a self-starter where you're not going to, sit on your hands. But obviously, if you're coming into the real estate world, so that's probably not you. So,
Yeah. Yeah. No, I've owned a business and everything, so I mean, I'm pretty motivated when I set my mind to it. So
I think what he's coming from is where we're from. It's a small town of like 2,500 people at the most. So
okay.
in order, I mean, I'll be living in that town too, but I'm going to be working more towards Killeen. So I'll be driving 45 minutes for business too. Just because we're kind of out in the middle of nowhere. So getting our feet started in eXp is just a little different because it's mom and pop shops in a lot of these places, local owned real estate brokerages, and they've never heard of eXp. So just trying to build that brand too in that area is going to come with a little, a little more that we're going to have to work towards.
I imagine. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
That's a big thing we're trying to do on the commercial side too, is we're really trying to make us more of a commonplace name when you think of big commercial players. And with the amount of technology and the money that we're paying the brokers, I think that's definitely something that's going to happen in the near future as well. So.
And you don't have to be you can just be an agent. You don't have to be a broker to be on the commercial side.
Yeah, you're correct. Yeah, and I say broker, but you could be an agent. That's not an
Okay.
issue. I just happen to be a broker as well. So
Okay.
yeah, I did realty for a while, and I just got tired of. Actually, I got sued. It was probably the reason I kind of left that. And don't ever do the dual representation on a land deal, small land deal, and it just went south. But anyway, the insurance company had to pay out, and I just got tired of managing people. So now I have less people to manage.
I understand that. That's why I sold my business. I got tired of managing people.
It's true. It's a lot of time. It really is. But I mean, if you can manage yourself, that's really what you need in the commercial space too. So it sounds like that's your kind of mindset. So that seems like it's a good fit to me.
So Bill, what would your advice be for a brand new agent now going into, I feel like residential is a lot easier to come into than commercial. So getting started in commercial for him, would it just be like throwing himself into as much education as possible and getting his feelers out, that sort of thing?
Yeah, I would definitely dive in heads first into all education. I would look heavily into your mentor selection, and I'll tell you who I use when I'm here. And I still work with Pete Andrews. He's actually his eXp commercial license number is number one. He's the first commercial real estate license to come
Wow.
over. But he is old, seasoned guy, kind of knows the ins and outs, and he'll help you navigate. Pretty much coming on board. Really, you're going to want to outside of absorbing yourself into the technology and courses. You're going to want to introduce yourself to local eXp agents who could refer business to you. You're going to want to introduce yourself to the local community who does the commercial real estate. So that way, when you have clients, you know what they're looking for, and you can kind of communicate a little bit better. And just it's all about who you know and what you know, and just getting to know people.
Mhm.
But yeah, really, in the end of the day, information's powerful. It's a powerful thing.
Awesome.
What other questions you got?
Um, that's all I can really think of right now. That's about it, I guess. I was just kind of put my mind at ease that that's what I mean. Whatever I do, I want to make sure I can make a living at it, and you know, just being out in the middle of nowhere, it's hard sometimes to have contacts. I mean, I don't mind going out and doing the work to get them, but I just
Mhm.
want to make sure that I can make it in the commercial side too. So
Sure. I can see being in a small town being a disadvantage as well as an advantage. The advantage being in the fact that you can get to know people quicker within the community, just because there's less people to get to know. So there's always two sides to each coin. But yeah, I mean, you sound like a go-getter, so it's really about how much effort you're going to put in, and you'll get the results that you're looking for.
yeah, well, I appreciate that.
Well, sounds good. Tell you what, I'll put my cell and my email in the chat box for you too. So don't hesitate to reach out if you ever have any questions. Be glad to help you on that regard. But yeah,
Sounds good.
what you guys excited for Friday? Got any big plans for the weekend yet?
We got the big Cowboys game coming up Sunday. That's all I'm looking forward to.
Right, that's right.
That's about it. It's cold here in Tennessee. I don't know if it's cold in Texas, but it's like 34 degrees today.
Okay,
No,
that's colder than we are.
Yeah, it's cold today, so we're keeping warm. Thank you, Bill, for taking the time out. I really appreciate
Yes,
that.
appreciate that.
All
Yeah.
good. Well, hope you guys have a good one. Okay.
All
Thank
right.
you.
see.
Thanks,
Bye,
Bill.
Sam.